I honestly did not mean to hit that second intro button. I'm so sorry. So sorry about that. Happy Turkey Day, guys. How about we huddle up for a little Friendsgiving? A little Friendsgiving. That's right. We're all friends here, right? Yeah, we'll make this short and sweet. It's Thanksgiving. My wife is downstairs cooking dinner. I finished cleaning, getting the table set up and all this stuff. I told her about the breaking news. I was like, "You know what? Nobody wants me to go live, but I'm gonna do it anyway." And she was laughing. She's like, "You do you, man. You do you." Anyway, we had some very exciting news today, and I wanted to share it with you guys coming out of the AtGames camp. Now, there's some pros and cons to their latest announcements. So the question is should we set phasers to fun? Should we be super excited about this latest pinball theme, Legends Pinball 4K announcement, or should we be like, "This isn't the Star Trek we were waiting for"? I definitely wanna get your live feedback in the chat. I also put a poll in the chat. Make sure you vote the poll, guys. Let me know. Some of you may have already seen it. Let me know, but I'll show it to you as we go and vote as we go if you haven't seen it yet. And, hey, man, thanks so much for letting me come into your home here on Thanksgiving. I usually don't stream on the holidays, but this was too funny in my opinion. This was too funny. I was like, "I gotta do it 'cause it'd be hilarious." But let's dive into it real quick, guys. AtGames hates it when PDubs streams. So I go, "What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say? What's he gonna say?" That's, like, the main reason why I'm doing it. Anyway, so we got our new pinball machine coming, our second FX Legends 4K. Jesus, at games, so many names, so many names for their products, right? We got this new Legends, Pinball 4K coming out. It's FX Legends 4K, and it's gonna be a Star Trek pinball machine, a Star Trek pinball machine. Now, there's a couple of things I wanna go over about this, but, let me say hi to who's here. Who was brave enough to join this stream on Thanksgiving? Let's see who's here. We got JWY's here, Killer Penguins, Art Davison, Calvin Long is here, Travis, Nerd Lounge Master, Shogeku, Travis again, JWY loves KYC, uh, Judah Band, Seaborn, think I should risk it and wait for a next generation one? That is actually a fantastic question. That is a fantastic question. So let's pull this up. So first off, let's show off the table. And after we show off the table, we're gonna go over some important need to know stuff. So let's go here and geez, can we do this? All right, there you go. There you go. That's a good view, right? All right, guys, let me know what you think. It's Star Trek Pinball. What have you noticed? What'd you notice that is interesting about the Star Trek themed pinball game? And remember, it's a Pinball FX theme table, right? When I first saw it, when I saw it pop up on their website because I was listening to the Zen Studios Pinball Bites live stream, and then sure enough, on my other window, I had the AtGames website. I kept hitting a refresh, and when it refreshed and it showed Star Trek Pinball, I actually got super excited, guys. I got super excited at first, and do you know why? I'll tell you why. When I saw the Star Trek logo and that it was the newer Star Trek logo, not the next generation, the newer Star Trek logo, I almost had a panic attack at first because I honestly thought that this was gonna be the, Stern Star Trek. You guys know the Stern like the real Star Trek. I was like, "Holy shit, did AtGames and Zen Studios pull off the impossible? Did they get Stern?" But no, I was wrong, because as, their live stream progressed and as I actually looked at the website, these are brand new Star Trek games. This is a brand new game. There's actually gonna be 3 brand new Star Trek virtual pinball games made by Zen Studios that'll be included on this pinball machine. So if you get this themed pinball machine, you're gonna get all 3 Star Trek games. What does that tell you guys? Well, in my opinion, that tells me that there's gonna end up being a Star Trek themed pinball. So for those of us like me who pre-ordered Adam's Family, but we wanna play the Star Trek games, well, we're probably gonna have to buy the Star Trek pinball pack and watch it includes those 3 games. I mean, I think that we would be safe to assume all that. So, I got hyped at first when I first saw it. My initial gut reaction was they pulled off the impossible, they got Stern, but that's not the case, guys, so keep that in mind. These are brand new pinball games. I gotta say, the pinball machine itself, you got your newer movie characters. Some people like Zachary Quinto as Spock, some people don't. I absolutely love Chris Pine as Captain Kirk. I thought he did a great, homage or ode to William Shatner, during the movies. So, like, I had no problem with Chris Pine, playing, Captain Kirk. Zachary Quinto, I wasn't a big fan of, but my wife loved him as Spock, and she's a big Trekkie, as you know. So what's interesting is on the right-hand side of the pinball table, you guys gotta let me know what you think about the artwork here on the right-hand side. Keep in mind the artwork on the left, um, mine is on the left-hand side is different artwork, on the left-hand side is different artwork. But we got a black and white image of the main actors, from the movie, um, right here. I'm actually not too excited about it. I think the left-hand side is better. What are we going on here, guys? What do we got going on here? Audio problem. Well, maybe it's Thanksgiving. Do I sound okay? Let me know in the live chat if I sound okay. All right, here's the table again without the fancy backdrop. Let's go here. Let's go to the front. So let's take a look here. And again, this is going to be a limited edition pinball machine. So it's going to be one of 5,000 if they can sell 5,000 of these. You got your little, looks like Planet Earth here. You got your Star Trek. It's actually there's not much to it on the front, but sometimes less is more. Sometimes less is more. Got your FX 4K. I love the speaker grill covers. The fact that AtGames continues to come out and give each of these machines custom speaker grill covers. It's the little things. It's the little things that gets me super, super excited. So I'm digging that. Hang on, let's check our microphone. Let's see. Audio. Yeah, I have the right, microphone on. What about now, guys? Let me know now. Does that sound better? What about now? Is that better? What about now? All right, and then here's your back box right here. So take a look here. So, Star Trek, it's actually not that super cool looking in my opinion. It's actually kind of a plain Jane Star Trek table, except for the left-hand side of the machine. So let's see here. Here's the left-hand side. I'm actually digging the artwork on the left-hand side. You actually got, a nice shot here of this looks to be San Francisco. That's right, San Francisco. Where obviously the headquarters of Starfleet is, if you're actually a Star Trek fan. That looks like the Golden Gate Bridge right there. So if you're a fan of Star Trek, you know about San Francisco. So it was nice to see that's included, plus all the actors, right? And then on the left-hand side of the back box, you got Captain Kirk. And then on the right-hand side of the back box, you got Spock, Zachary Quinto as Spock. I gotta say, guys, like the left-hand side of the machine looks cool to me. The right-hand side is kind of weird that, we go from this nice color image to a black and white image on the other side. And honestly, in my opinion, as cool as the IP sounds, it's a little boring in my opinion. Like it seems like you could have done more with it. It seems like you could have done more with the artwork to really make this thing shine. It just seems like it was just, kind of put together like let's just put some actors' faces on it. Throw in the ship, throw in the Enterprise, and boom, we're done. On to the next one. So me personally, from a looks point of view, I'm not that excited about it. But let's go here. Here's your topper. So what I've noticed is all the toppers appear to be coming out mostly in the same shape, like except for like Snoopy. I love what they did with the Snoopy topper, but it's like this half crescent moon shape, and then obviously they're going to put the artwork on their light strip in the back and all that stuff. Uh, but let's get to something really interesting about this announcement. So you're like, well, wait a minute, I don't have these games. I don't have these games on my Zen Studios Pinball FX, right? Well, guys, these are brand new games. So what's interesting is Zen Studios announced these games today. Let's pull up our games list. So if you scroll down here, you'll notice that when it comes to included tables, take a look right here, guys. You're going to get a brand new Star Trek Pinball Kelvin timeline, Star Trek Pinball Discovery, and oh my god, the worst TV show, the worst Star Trek TV show of all time, Star Trek Pinball Deep Space Nine. God, that is a terrible one. If you had to rank them, like me personally, I would go the Star Trek The Next Generation is my favorite show of all time because that's the Star Trek I grew up with. I was a young kid. My dad would watch it Saturday mornings. I think it was on WGN Chicago or was on UPN Power 50 Chicago. I can't remember which one, but every Saturday morning we would be watching Star Trek The Next Generation episodes. So for me, Star Trek The Next Generation is like the best. Like I've gone back, I've seen a lot of the original Star Trek. Those of you who are older than me probably think it's the best. It's the OG. I would actually rank it as solid too. And then after that, I would have to give it to Star Trek Voyager. I actually really, really enjoyed Voyager, especially with them being lost in the Delta Quadrant all by themselves, right? Like they are so far away, they have no help, and they have to figure everything out on their own. How to beat the Borg, how to be what is that special species? What was that 1126 or whatever the Borg called it? Those guys, they were the only aliens that could actually defeat the Borg, and we had to give them the technology to defeat that species and help the Borg, which was a great twist in the storyline. But either way, Star Trek Voyager. Then I would have to say, like, Star Trek Brave New Worlds is really good. Star Trek Discovery, I hated that one. And then like like towards the bottom, you would put Star Trek Enterprise with Scott Bakula as Captain Archer, and then dead last, you would have Star Trek Deep Space Nine, in my opinion. And the reason why is Star Trek. Just in the title alone, Star Trek. What is a trek? A trek is a journey through the stars, right? A journey through the galaxy. And Deep Space Nine is about a space station that just sits there. Yeah, the space station can move, but it's kind of boring, in my opinion. Just like all the drama happening on a space station. Who gives a shit, right? 8472. There you go. It was something like that. Yeah, you guys remember that. I was not a fan of Deep Space Nine. I honestly thought it was the worst. I thought Captain Cisco was terrible. But so what's interesting is you're going to get 15 games on this machine, just like all the other games. All the other pinball machines come with 15 games. But of course, what they're doing is they're cycling some of these games out. So as they cycle these games out, you're still going to get a bunch of the Zakaria Deluxe games and the Natural History Pinball Pack 1, but they've gotten rid of 2 games and added 2 more Star Trek. So you're getting 3 Star Trek games, brand new games, which Zen Studios just announced today. Now, here's the cool thing about this whole announcement, right? And don't get me wrong, guys. I think personally this is really cool. This tells us that if Zen Studios is going to release brand new intellectual property, brand new games, with their partnership with AtGames, there's a chance, depending on the success and longevity of this Pinball 4K product, that they will continue to do this where we could get that themed table the same day that those games are released by Zen. Because if you think about it, like when this whole announcement came out, I was like, if they release anything new, Pinball M, if they release, which is still yet to be released with all their horror theme tables, if they release anything new, oh, AtGames isn't going to get that. They're going to get all the old stuff, right? The stuff that's been around for a while. No, this tells us they're going to get brand new stuff, man. They're going to get brand new stuff. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, let's go back to the lineup. I just saw that comment in the chat, guys. So let's go full screen. Star Trek Pinball Kelvin Timeline, brand new game. Star Trek Pinball Discovery, Star Trek Pinball Deep Space Nine, Amazonia, Battle Deluxe. That's interesting. Sinistar Deluxe. That's right, because you're getting all the Zakaria Deluxe games. Dinosaur Dynasty, Exoplanets, Farfalla Deluxe. Actually, let's count these up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, look at that. 15, 16, 17. All right. So you're actually getting 17 games on this pinball machine. 17 games, according to this lineup. My count's not wrong, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right. So you're getting the 15 games that you would normally get, plus the Zen Studios game, plus 2 more Zen Studios games. So dude, that's kind of bogus in my opinion. Like, why, if all these pinball machines are the same price, why do I get 17 games with Star Trek, with the other games like Adam's Family? I'm only getting 15 games, and that includes the Adam's Family. Like, what's going on, man? Like, if you're gonna give 17 games, give 17 games to everybody. It seems kind of unfair. I understand it's a Star Trek themed table, but if we're paying the same price, why is one person getting less than the next person in regards to volume of games? Maybe it's licensing themes and all that stuff. And the biggest concern that I thought people might have with this would be, of course, the fact that this is the new Kelvin themed or Kelvin era of Star Trek. It's not Star Trek The Next Generation. It's not Star Trek The Next Generation. So the question is this a win? I think a lot of people were hoping for Star Trek The Next Generation, and that's not to say it's not going to come. If they do a Williams themed table down the line, I wouldn't be surprised if they do Star Trek The Next Generation. They know out of all the Williams tables, that was like top 5 or top 3. People want a Star Trek The Next Generation themed table. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we still get that down the road. So keep that in mind too if you're a big Star Trek fan and if that's the one you're waiting for. It wouldn't shock me, but don't quote me because I know nothing. If they do it, it only makes sense that they do it. They got to make Star Trek, they got to make Indiana Jones, they got to make a Universal Studios theme table with like either Jaws, ET, or Back to the Future. They got to do obviously a Star Wars theme table. They have to do Indiana Jones. Like if you don't take advantage of this partnership and release an Indiana Jones table, you're nuts, right? Star Trek The Next Generation, I think, would sell. So, but the win for this, at least in my opinion, here's the one positive I'm really, really looking at. The one positive I am really, really looking at is the fact that this proves to me personally that if Zen Studios comes out with brand new partnerships, brand new IP, brand new intellectual property, we're going to get it at the same time on the AtGames ecosystem, because they did announce on the Pinball Bytes show, today that when these games are released in store for Pinball FX for us to buy on our consoles or Steam or Epic, your PC, etc., that they would be available with AtGames same day. Now, keep in mind, they said that was going to be like, I think they said December 7th. Let me know if I'm wrong in the live chat, was when the Star Trek games would be released. None of us will have our pinball machines yet by December 7th, right? So we're not going to be able to buy them, but I'm assuming AtGames will at least let us pre-order them on December 7th. That way we could play them come January or so when our machines arrive. But then again, in the future, when we actually have our machines, this tells me that we might still get them around the same release date that the other consoles do. So that's pretty cool in my opinion. I think that is definitely a win for AtGames. When it comes to the table itself, though, guys, I think they could have done a lot more with the artwork. I think they could have really made this thing pop and look cool, especially since it's not the next generation. Oh, up to my thumbnails. I just it just seems kind of boring to me. It just seems really, really plain. Just really, really plain. But you guys let me know in the live chat. Keep in mind, we all are all human. We all have opinions. My opinion might differ from yours. And if you think it looks incredible, I want to hear that feedback in the live chat. In fact, I'm going to start putting up people's feedback in the live chat. Like it just looks pretty plain to me. We just have pictures of actors. We have the Enterprise on here 3 times. We have the Star Trek logo on here twice, and that's it. It doesn't seem it doesn't seem like they could have done so much more. They could have done so much more. You could have actually like if gotten um like if you're going to do like more of the ships that we've seen. Like where is what's his name? Not Nemo, the first villain from the first Star Trek movie, the Romulan, played by Eric Bana. You could have had his giant ship in there. You know what I mean? Because this is the Kelvin universe, right? And you could have had Captain Kirk's father's ship like on here. You could have thrown the Enterprise on here. You could have thrown like the newer Klingon vessels on here from the second movie. Like you could have given us a little more Star Trek and a little less just actors, right? Like this is just, it's just actors. Like here's okay, Zachary Quinto's on one side. That's it. So that's just my opinion. Like I think it's very plain. Like they could have done more. They could have done more. So there you go. Yeah, I mean black and white with the actors, but the left-hand side's better. I do keep in mind guys, I love the fact that we have the on the left. I do love that they added San Francisco, right? Like that's pretty cool in my opinion because that's the headquarters of Starfleet. I do like that, but then you just have the head oh my god, Alice Eve had such a crush on her in Star Trek. Who will never forget in Star Trek Alice Eve, right? Okay, let me get some of your guys' feedback on here. Calvin Wong says it would have been better artwork. He's happy with his for now. Charlie Chuck says there's a Canadian group chat. I'm not Canadian. I'm not part of that chat. I think it's hilarious that these dumb companies never fail to meet our already low expectations. Their Star Wars theme table will be based on the sequels. I hope not. If they're gonna make a Star Wars theme table, they got to do Return of the Jedi or do The Empire Strikes Back. Jim Pacers fans, it is amazing they are releasing tables this fast. Yeah, let's at least give them credit for that. Let's at least give them credit for that. Twilight Zone needs done. Chris says the artwork needs to be released. Oh, I'm sorry, the artwork looks cheap, and then I was reading this one at the same time. Travis says 13 more, guys. We got 13 more. So far, Snoopy and Star Trek are down, but there's a chance that maybe the other 13 will be really, really cool. JWY says it's a meh. They probably did want to do more, but Zen had control over the art. Yeah, so keep in mind too, like when it comes to artwork on pinball or arcade products, the licensor usually gets final say on the artwork. I mean, why do you think like that arcade one up Atari 40th? A lot of us out there think it's absolutely hideous. Obviously, there's a market for everything. Some people thinks it looks awesome, but they went with that gold and black artwork because Atari told them to, right? Even though it's probably not what most people would have wanted, right? So keep in mind, yeah, Zen Studio. But then again, that's still you can't just say it's not AtGames' fault. Why would AtGames not go back to them and say, love it. Love the idea. Appreciate you giving us the IP so much. Greatly appreciate it. But we think our audience isn't going to like it. Let's do some more tweaking. Like, who's to say you can't go back to the table and say, hey, let's throw this on here. Let's tweak this on here. You could take any piece of art out there in the world and make it better. I mean, everybody's a critic, right? Everybody's a critic. Let's go ahead and get that off of there. Let's take a look at our poll. Here we go. Votes are coming in. We got 64 votes so far. We're going to end the stream here in just a couple of minutes. So, guys, get your votes in. Is this Star Trek theme table a win? So far, 58% said yes, 42% said no. Monster Bash win. I know, right? I would love for them to do a Zen Studios. I'm sorry, not Zen, a Williams themed machine, and make it one of the best, like indie for the next generation. So that's something to keep in mind too, guys. Like if you're a big Star Trek fan, don't just pre-order this just to get Star Trek if you're really holding out for the next generation. Now, let's go over a couple other positives. You know me, guys. I like to give you the pros and the cons, at least the way I see them. And then you guys make your own opinions after that. You're all adults. You guys don't need me to tell you what to do. When it comes to the pre orders, let's dive in right here, guys. This is actually pretty interesting to see. Again, AtGames is coming in with the discounted pricing. So it seems like every time they release a new skin, they're doing the discounted pricing. So instead of you paying 1,500 bucks, you could pre-order this right now today for 1,200 bucks. So the fact that they're doing that, and technically they don't have to do that, the fact that they're doing that is really, really cool in my opinion. Still got to put down your $200 deposit. You're probably not going to get your machine though until March or April. So just a heads up there. Now, one other thing I got to say is when we ordered the Adams Family, this is one thing that I completely forgot. When we all ordered the Adams Family, we all pre-ordered it for 10.99. 10.99. So Adams Family so far, in my opinion, has been the cheapest machine, right? Like everyone else has had to pay at least $100 more. So that actually helps me feel a little bit better about my Adams Family pre-order, is that everyone else so far has at least paid $100 more than I have for this particular for their machines that are coming out very, very soon. So that's nice to see. It's nice to see that they're doing the discounts. They don't, keep in mind, they don't have to do that. And yes, this is going to be one of the ones that is limited to 5,000 units, Nikki. 5,000 units. Anyway, pretty crazy. I don't want to make this go too long. I figured 30 minutes at the most. It's got all the same specs. Everything is the same that you've already heard about in a million YouTube videos. But it's interesting that you get 17 tables on this machine, according to this list. 17 tables. And everyone else is getting 15 tables. So that kind of stinks. All right, I'm gonna go back to the poll here. Let's take a look at the poll, see what everyone said. Let's end the poll. So we end the poll. Is this Star Trek theme table a win? 55% of the viewers right now who took that vote said yes. 44% said no. So it's kind of close, but not really. It looks like people are mostly happy with it. We got a $10 super chat from Jim. You didn't have to do it. Happy Thanksgiving to you and everyone in the chat. I really appreciate your content. Well, I really appreciate you, Jim, and I appreciate you always being here, watching the shows, and that super chat, which was completely unnecessary. And that's another thing to remember too. Yes, all the accessories were on sale when we ordered the Adams Family. That's true. That's true. So that stuff helps me feel a little bit better about my Adams Family pre-order, right? All right, guys. So, in my opinion, I'm not a big fan of the Star Trek artwork. That's my big takeaway from today. I think they could have done a lot more with this table to really make it shine instead of just throwing a few actors' faces on it, throwing two Star Trek Enterprises on it, and calling it a day. I think they could have done a lot more with this artwork to really make it look cool. That's my reaction to the artwork. What I'm excited about and what I think is awesome is that this proves to me that if there's brand new intellectual property being released by Zen Studios, it sounds like there's a commitment there to make sure that the people who are playing those games on the AtGames ecosystem will have access to it. According to the people on the Pinball Bites show on Zen Studio stream this morning, AtGames people would have been able to order these tables the same day as everyone else who's going to order these tables on Steam, on Switch, on Xbox, on PlayStation. So it's not like there's going to be this massive delay in those games eventually making their way to the AtGames ecosystem. I think it's really, really cool that they're making a brand new table based upon brand new games that are about to be released. You have to admit, that's pretty cool. Sounds like if you get in on this ecosystem, it's not like they're going to release Pinball, let's just say Pinball M, and then like 2 years later it shows up on the AtGames ecosystem. Does that make sense? That's the point I'm trying to make. There's hope. There's hope there. There's hope for all of us who spent all this money on a pinball machine we didn't need to buy. All right. There you guys go. Thanks so much for tuning in to this quick Thanksgiving live stream. I'm going to go spend the rest of my day with my wife and my son. My son is actually having his girlfriend over for Thanksgiving dinner. It's the first time we've had one of his girlfriends over for a holiday dinner. So I was up late last night cleaning house. You know how it is, right? You got company coming. And so I'm going to go watch TV, eat a ton of food, spend time with my wife, my son, and his girlfriend, and my puppies, of course, who are making cameos back there. I hope all of you Have an awesome Thanksgiving with your family and friends. And make sure you spend some time this weekend, play some of your video games, play some of your arcade games, play some of your pinball games, and all that kind of stuff. And AtGames keep coming out with new tables, but please, for the love of God, just release the next generation. Please, please release the next generation, not Zachary Quinto Star Trek. All right, guys, I'm out of here. You guys have a fantastic holiday, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. You guys have a great day. Later.